Hey guys, what's up? I'm bringing you another article today, and the subject at hand is George R.R. Martin's next book is already receiving backlash over his co-author's pushback against inclusive casting in House of the Dragon. Now, I have been meaning to catch up completely on the House of the Dragon series. I had a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth from Game of Thrones Season 8, but after some convincing from family and friends, I have decided to give the show a try. Now, I am 4 episodes in. I'm trying to catch up on the rest of the episodes that are released. And I want to do a review later on. So I'm trying to get a little bit of content out concerning House of the Dragon. I want to try and pay attention to what's going on in all the events surrounding this show, basically. So let's read this together. Last week, George R.R. Martin announced that a new companion book, Rise of the Dragon, An Illustrated History of the Targaryen Dynasty, Volume 1, would be released this month for anyone who wants to go even deeper into the Targaryen Dynasty and their complex world of dragons. While this isn't surprising, considering the fact that Martin is busy doing everything besides actually finishing Winds of Winter, but I'm not sure anybody cares anymore at this point, fans are upset with the book's co-authors, Linda Antonsson and Elio M. Garcia Jr. Okay. In response to Martin's tweet linking the book, many fans piled on with various examples of racist statements from Antonsson over the years. The two authors have been working with Martin since 1999, when they began an online lexicon of A Song of Ice and Fire knowledge before Game of Thrones even existed on HBO. They've been working together for a long time. She and her husband Garcia have been working as fact checkers for Martin for over 2 decades. What are they about to do? Just split up as partners now? Antonsson has a history of criticizing diverse casting choices in the series, which has angered fans who refuse to support her writing or works. I'm not sure which fans they're talking about, but I assume they mean all of Twitter, because I see tweets already, so I'm guessing they're relying on Twitter opinions to formulate their narrative here. And that's really sketchy. It's really dirty and sneaky, okay? That's not factual or even responsible reporting, for that matter. Anyway, let's continue. Most recently, she was angered when House of the Dragon cast Steve Toussaint as Corlys. Sorry about if I'm getting these names wrong. There are no black Valyrians, and there should not be any in the show, Antonsson blogged at the time. Obviously, this was not well received. I mean, I'm not sure who to side with here. If they've been working together 20 years, George should really be taking her word and trusting her, since his books and shows have been such a success for so long. I don't know why they would resort to listening to Twitter pundits now. It would be a huge mistake on George's part. I mean, he's already on thin ice with Game of Thrones Season 8. I mean, he's lucky that House of the Dragon is turning out to be so good. And boy, is it good. I mean, it's so good that it's almost undeserving of him. Almost undeserving, because he's kind of going off the deep end lately, at least in my opinion. Listen to this tweet. Dropping this thread again. At the end of the day, if Linda respected you or the rest of your team, she wouldn't be dragging you down with her bigotry. If you and the rest of your team respected us, the association with her and Elio would have ended over a decade ago. Wow. They're so upset over basically nothing. Casting choices, I mean, that doesn't really matter as long as the actor or actress can do a good job playing their part, right? I mean, of course, there are instances in which casting choices are made solely on the idea of ethnicity and solely on the idea of diversity. Sometimes they don't pay attention to whether someone's good at acting or not. And that's really unfortunate. So I'm pretty sure that's what people are talking about here. Don't support racist Linda Antonsson's fan fiction. Gonna pass on buying this, as I do not want to support Elio and Linda. Aside from their history of racist and turfy comments, they also are happy to claim George contributed nothing to this book. I'll find ways to support fandom artists without funneling money to bigots. Thanks. You know, as picky as these people are on Twitter, they all talk about how popular Rings of Power is, and they all talk about all these problems with House of the Dragon. But what you'll notice is when you read Rings of Power articles versus House of the Dragon articles, the House of the Dragon articles really don't have that much going on. I mean, the problems are very minuscule, trivial, in my opinion, as opposed to just these massive, insane issues on the Rings of Power side of the news. There's definitely favoritism going on. There's definitely shill articles. There's journalists being paid 100%. Because there's a whole bunch of inconsistency I'm seeing here. I'm a huge ASOIAF fan, George, but I'm going to pass on this one. Your co-author, who literally tweeted that the only thing you contributed to this book was your name on the contract, has made it pretty clear how she feels about people like me, so I'll pass on her take on the story. There! And then that person got 6 likes, and they were considered brave, and they were given the title Slayer of all George R.R. Martins. Address the Linda situations, George. Also, friendly reminder to not buy this book. By the way, I'm not giving George credit here on this one, because if you see at the top, it says pushback against inclusive casting in House of the Dragon. So George R.R. Martin, he's pushing for inclusivity and diversity. Now, I don't know if he's trying to parrot anybody's specific agenda for the TV show or any of the films, comics, or books in the future, but he's definitely pushing it. You can see it in the TV show. You can see it in a little bit of the messaging of the House of the Dragon, though it does not dominate the entirety of the show if you're watching it. Now, I'm not going to spoil the show for you, but there are instances in which they talk about, the power structure between men and women. And some of the ethnic characters, they have this, I don't know if it's just this default disdain for all of the white people in the show too. I haven't really cared about it that much, though, because the story is actually insanely good and I love it. So we'll just move on. Sorry, George, all love and respect to you, but nothing Linda touches will ever see a dime. Like, these people are just, they don't understand. They're crazy. They're all watching Rings of Power. And I understand that this is a situation that where it's hard to take a side, because on the one hand, yeah, we like House of Dragon and we like George R.R. Martin's works, but yeah, no, we don't like what he's been doing behind the scenes. Anyway, in a nutshell, it's just not looking good for George right now. In a statement to Variety, Antonsson said that it bothers her to be labeled a racist when my focus has been solely on the world building, and that diversity should not trump story. I agree with that. I 100% agree. When it comes to the show's casting, Antonsson also confirmed that Martin is aware of the backlash, though he has not made a public comment. Yeah, of course, because he's rolling around in that cash, baby. According to the author, Martin doesn't see the point in engaging with people on social media, and he has not suggested we should stop sharing our opinions. Martin is no stranger to controversy and backlash, though he has consciously made the effort to avoid the effing toxic internet altogether after Game of Thrones ended. Yeah, well, there's a reason for that, George. Instead, he will spend the next 3 decades working on Winds of Winter, maybe 30, 40, 50 years. I don't know. Maybe we'll be around by then, but maybe not. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Like and share this video, subscribe, click that notification bell, and I will see you all next time.